Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Comics on Canes. My name is Michael Yo. First of all, before we even get started, I want to say thank you so much from all of us. I mean, you guys have been subscribing. Our watch time is through the roof, and I really appreciate it. And the reason why we started this podcast is my personal reason was I wanted this to be a fans podcast because a lot of times, look, I love all the reporters and all the love for Miami, like the people that really in there grinding every day, like Dono and Gary Furman and all these people. They actually need to have access to practices. They need to have access to the team. They break stories all the time. And actually, Dono and Furman, if you hear any breaking news, we probably got it from them, to be honest with you. We're not here to break news. We're more of a fans. We're all about the fans. So we're not
breaking any news. I'll tell you that.
No, we're not breaking any news.
Yeah,
we're not necessarily we're here to not break news, but we're not trying to get into press conferences. We're not trying to get into practice. We're just telling you how we see it from a fan's point of view, and that's why we're here. That's Forrest Shaw. What's up, Forrest?
We're trying to get into the after party. That's what we're trying to do. So that's our main goal. And tailgate and after party. So yeah.
And here's the thing about Forrest. As you notice, he has Ohio State colors behind him, and he's wearing a Los Angeles hat. Very off-brand for this podcast.
Okay, it's an orange Los Angeles hat. I just want to make that it's hurricane orange. But I'm traveling a lot, and we were talking about it beforehand. Like this will be the last time you see any jank ass backdrop from me. We're fixing this next time. But of course, today I'm getting ready, and I'm just like, Ohio State, great. And everywhere, if I go that way, it's still the same pattern. And I'm just like,
everybody watching the show right now, please give Forrest some crap for having Ohio State colors behind him. Please leave comments too. We love to read the comments. Now, Rudy, Forrest is a comedian. Rudy is a phenomenal comedian and the producer of the show. He's actually a Wisconsin fan, and it seems that your starter is Tyler Van Dyke, our last quarterback. Like they've officially named him starter.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about Wisconsin. We're okay with seconds. And that's what I feel like we're getting with this guy. Man, we've had a tough go at quarterback over the last couple of seasons, and I don't think they are making any sort of headway. Although, I mean, I know it's apples and oranges, but, living in Minnesota, to hear the news about J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings, have you ever had a more snake-bitten team than that guy with quarterbacks? Man, that team can just not get it off the ground. That's why I became a Badgers fan. That's why I became a Packers fan. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I will say this, over the last couple of days, if you would have told me 2 years ago I'd be doing a podcast about the Miami Hurricanes, I would say, you, sir, are on drugs. But the fact that I'm on board with you guys and doing this show, I'm amazed. I didn't realize the camaraderie and the fandom that went along with this team. And man, it really has. The last 2 weeks has just been awesome. Getting to read up on the team and getting to know more about the history of it and hanging out with you guys. Man, what a great opportunity. So yeah, it's really cool.
To be fair, 2 years ago when I told you that I was on drugs, but still, you're doing the podcast anyway. So.
Not much has changed in 2 years. That's the best part about
it. It's green under. This is as Hurricanes of an LA hat as you can.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Forrest, get rid of the Ohio State background. Get rid of the orange. Look at me. I'm in Canes gear. I got the Canes cup. I'm sure when we have comedian Dave Williamson on, he's going to have some orange on at least. Probably rocking something from the school or Miami. At least he's going to be representing Miami, I bet. Unlike Forrest,
we'll see.
That's representing Ohio State.
We'll see.
All right. So that's what this podcast is here for. We're going to jump in some topics right now, but I want to bring in
real quick, Mike. I want to mention, because we didn't mention last time. We'd love for you to watch us on YouTube. We'd love for you to just watch us live, of course.
Yes.
We'd love for you to rewatch us on YouTube, but also we are available if you want to listen to the podcast again, or you're in your car and you can't watch it. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon. You can find us in those 4 places audio-wise. So
big shout outs to Forrest for making that happen. Get us on the podcast platform. Whoop, whoop. All right, Rudy, you want to bring him in right now? Mr. Dave Williams. Phenomenal comedian.
Williamson.
Phenomenal comedian. Hold on,
Williamson.
Dave. Look at that. He's throwing it up, baby. He's throwing it up.
Yeah, come on, Mike. Not only have we been friends forever, so you know Williamson, but also my uncle's a pretty big booster, bro. My name's on every single stadium, basketball, football, every commercial.
You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. I said Dave Williams, and then you threw up the U, and I stopped. I was going to say the son.
Okay.
Dave Williamson, you know him, a great comedian, tours with Burt Kreischer, phenomenal chef. I mean, this dude can barbecue. He can throw down.
Yeah, you want to invite me to your tailgates, is all I'm saying.
He does have a jersey behind him that is not a UM jersey, though. Just want to make that clear. So
I just got this shirt, though. This is brand new, authentic, from the first time ever that I did not go. I was just in Miami last week. I didn't go to all Canes by campus. I went to the actual campus bookstore.
Oh.
And I don't think it's a water polo ball because they don't have varsity water polo. It's club.
Yeah.
But a volleyball looks a lot like a water polo ball. So I bought a UM volleyball shirt to try to rock UM water polo.
My question for you, Dave, did you look like a creeper walking around campus? Because you're pretty old.
I mean, I had my kids with me. We were doing college visits for my son. So, but the answer is yes.
The mustache doesn't help.
Yeah, the mustache definitely doesn't help.
No, the mustache is the main thing that he's talking about, I'm pretty sure. that and just my general demeanor. So, you know, I went to Auburn, like Forrest was. This is a Bo Jackson jersey.
Oh, he's the best.
I grew up a diehard Canes fan in Miami. Went to all the games back in the day at the Orange Bowl and everything. And then I went to school at Auburn, but I was an honorary student at the University of Miami. I actually rushed fraternities my freshman and sophomore year, even though I didn't go to the school.
That's all.
Auburn was on the quarter system. So like everyone else went away to school and I was still home for like 3 weeks before my school started. So the only people I had to hang out with were my friends that were going to University of Miami. So I went down and that's when they would do rush week. So I was going to all the frat parties and just making up stories. I told them that my dad was in the oil game up in Alaska and I was really excited to be in tropical weather. And they're like, oh, let me introduce you to some girls. Would you like a free beer? And then like 2 weeks later, they call me and be like, yo, we want you to come to our rush event. And I'm like, oh, I already flunked out of school. Sorry. I had to remember what fake names I gave which frats.
What players, when you were at school, the team was good at that time, correct?
Well, when I was a kid growing up was when we were good. Yeah. I mean, I can remember being in junior high and painting my face and my body with all my buddies to go to 58. I think it was the 58 home winning streak. Yeah. You know, those were the days of, winning national championships and being relevant every single year. And we play FSU the last game of the season every year. And both teams it had national championship implications. The wide right years, I remember all those years.
Oh yeah.
Now there was a little bit when I was in college. That was when University of Miami had the sanctions, so we weren't great those years.
Popovich years. That's what I call him, the Popovich, and not we had as a safety. I don't know if you guys remember him, but it was like Popovich. Bless him, he was really trying as a safety, but it was the same as that Australian breakdancer kind of trying to do things. We were just like, come on, guy, you can do it. It was like, remember the Titans and Ryan Gosling keeps getting burned?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
and you talk yourself into it where you're like, man, we could still be good. A few things break our way, you know? And then you're like, it's not happening. But those
shout out anyways. I don't want to crap on him too much because I still was rooting for you.
When I was in college, I remember specifically one season was the year where Penn State had Lamar Arrington, and he came down and just annihilated us. And I was home for some reason that week, and then I was all painted up, and it was like a noon kickoff. So me and my buddies were tailgating at like 8 a.m. We were just blitzed by the time we got into the game at like 11 a.m. And it rained just enough to where I looked so sad. Just my face paint, just And I thought I was so genius. I learned a lesson. Don't make your sign. If you're gonna bring a sign into the game, don't make it after you've been drinking. Make it before when you're sober. Because the sign I came up with, and this is before the Penn State scandal. I mean, years before. My sign said you can't spell penis without P-E-N-S, and then I just had like a little tiny T. And it makes no sense, but I thought it was the smartest thing anyone's ever put on a sign in their life. And then I decided I'm drunk. I got my face paint's melting. I'm sweaty. I'm sure I lost my shirt at that point. And I'm running around section to section, holding this sign up, just yelling, penis! Penis! And I was getting sections to chant, penis, penis. And then I get to about the 50-yard line, and I see these people that are pointing at me. I had no idea my mom and dad were going to the game that day, and they were with all their friends from the neighborhood. And I ran up like, hey, what's up, Aunt Joanne, Uncle Stuart, how's it going? And I'm trying to hug them, and I got body paint. And it's the first time in my life that I can remember my mother being physically embarrassed by me, where she was just like, please leave, I'll talk to you later.
Well,
And
Dave,
I don't know what the problem is.
Dave, we are always embarrassed by you. So, you know,
you guys keep it real. That's why I love you.
We keep it. Hey, but we got to jump into some topics real quick. Rudy, hit us with the first topic, man.
All right, man. First question goes out to Dave Williamson. Dave, first question for you. Why are you a Miami Hurricanes fan?
Well, people are drawn to winners. And when I was a kid, the UM was winners. But I don't know if I understood that on the grand scheme of things. The Orange Bowl is the reason why I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan. Because when I was a kid, we would go tailgate, and I didn't realize how special it was to pull up, and someone had a La Caja China with an entire hog in it. And I think this is, you paid $20 for no blocky, and you park in someone's lawn.
It was $30 no blocky. It was $30.
Yeah. My parents probably had a special hookup for $20.
Dude, do you understand how much money those people made in their front yard? They would probably leave with like every weekend. They would probably make $300-$400.
Yeah. Untaxed. They weren't claiming those on their taxes.
Cash.
Yeah. They would park you in so tight, and they'd be like, get out of the sunroof. Like they try to get as many cars in the yard as possible. And it was $30 no blocky was the cheapest I knew about it.
All right, we got.
But the best, the thing that did it is when it's a tight game and everyone would start stamping their feet, and it felt like the stadium was going to fall, and we were all going to die for the cause. It's hard to replicate that in sports, just how loud that place got.
It's amazing. Let's jump into trap games. Right, Rudy?
Games? Yeah. Yep. First topic, trap games.
All right. Why don't you kick off trap games for us, and then we'll go to Dave, and then I'll close out trap games. What trap games do you think there are for us?
I mean, it's like I was just watching a hype video like an hour before the famous Boston College game that we almost lost in the 2001 season, and Ed Reed runs back the touchdown, and the rest is history and stuff. I don't even think it's going to be a school that is particularly that good. I'll tell you what, I feel like if we have a good season, which I think we're going to have, and we get to that last game against Syracuse, like we always like have a problem against like a team like Syracuse. So I'm just going to say at the end, those last two games, I believe it's Boston College, Syracuse. It's just, that's where we, and recently in recent times too, have stumbled. Like we'll come out of the gates good and whatever. So I'm not worried about it. The Virginia Tech or NC State or Florida State, those are obviously not going to be trap games. To me, it's that last game against Syracuse. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, and I believe it is on. If that's one of the ones, I don't know if it's on the road or not, but
it's at Syracuse. Yes.
Yeah, and so I've been to the Carrier Dome. I went to school in Ithaca College, and when I was up there, the only games that I could go to was when we were playing Syracuse. And I've driven up to the Carrier Dome in the middle of winter. I've had my hurricane warning flag snapped off my car in the parking lot. That was honestly the most danger I've ever felt at football games has been at the Carrier Dome, because there was one year when Donovan Nab, and they were like, we got this. We've lost to the Canes like 12 times in a row. And I believe, I don't know what the exact number was, but it was a lot. And I believe it was a game that Tremaine Mack ran back like 2 TDs, kickoff returns. And people were livid. Like they wanted to fight me and my friend away at the stadium. And my favorite part of the whole thing is it's this dome in the middle of the winter. And you come through like revolving doors. And at the end, they just open the 2 doors out into the cold night. And it creates this vacuum where all this wind pushes everything out. Mm-hmm. And all of these Syracuse fans, toupees. I remember like toupees just kept flying by me, and hats and stuff like that. And I'd never been so happy for people running after their hair pieces. And I was like, yeah, screw you guys. But I'm afraid. I'm always afraid of that. I think that's maybe a personal memory for me, Syracuse. Though.
All right, Dave.
I think Jermaine Mack also blocked the punt in that game.
Yeah.
He was insane that game.
Yeah, he was like
Rohan
unconscious that game.
Yeah, and Tremaine, yeah, it was awesome.
So all right, this might be a little bit of a reach, but for good reason. I'm gonna go. I think we only have like 4 games that are out of the state of Florida.
Yeah.
So that's obviously an advantage, but also, we got to go all the way out west to California to play Cal. And Cal, traditionally, you would think like, probably a pretty easy game, a cupcake game. But my Auburn Tigers played them at Cal last year, and I slept on it. I was going to take my family up to watch the game, and I didn't even want to spend the money to do it because I'm like, we're going to blow them out. And they beat us. So, I'd hate to see the Canes do the same thing. If they're going to come all the way East Coast to West Coast, I hope they're ready.
It's a conference game, though. You didn't know it's a
nice
6-hour flight for a conference game. Like,
it's a conference game.
I think everything's a conference game now, right?
let's be honest. Notre Dame does this all the time. So and they do well. So Notre Dame travels all over the country to play different people. So I don't see the Cal the problem. I think the trap game, if there is one, I don't think there's any trap games. I think every game is a trap game for the Miami Hurricanes this year. Yeah. But I am going to say Syracuse, like Forrest, but for a totally different reason. I think they'll go 11-0 into Syracuse, and they will rest players for the ACC championship because I can see players being banged up, and they're like, we'll take an L. We'll play second string, give them some experience because you want to be ready. Unlike other seasons, it's like you got to be ready for 4 more games. After the AC, or 3 to 4 more games after the ACC championship. So I see them resting a bunch of players because they'll have a bunch of players nicked up by the 12th week. They might take an L in Syracuse, but then the ACC championship, that'll give them 2 to 3 weeks of rest, and they'll be full speed. And I think they just run through the ACC championship, and they make and they do well in the playoffs. So I don't want to give my final prediction, but if an L comes, I don't think it's the Florida State, Louisville. I think it's the Syracuse because it's the end of the year and they're resting players. That's what I think.
You don't have the residual trauma that I have from the Carrier Dome is what I have from. I'm 0-2 on hurricane warning flags on my car. My 1977 Dodge Aspen snapped off and thrown in my hood outside the Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
So,
is there nothing better than being the underdog in a trap game and coming out on top? Man, that is the best. I guess maybe just because I grew up, living in Minnesota, I watch the Minnesota State hockey tournament every year. And there's always these big schools that, are ranked number 1. You got Edina, you got Eden Prairie, and then just some little crap school from like Osseo, Minnesota. They barely have enough kids to be able to make the squad. And they're going up against kids who have been going to hockey camps one after another for years. And now they go up and they whacked the ice with them. There's nothing better than being on the underdog in those games and just coming out, man.
The thing with Miami, though, I think they're going to be favored in a lot of their games. I mean, I don't think they're going to be an underdog. I don't even think when they play, by the time they get to Florida State, I think they'll be undefeated. Florida State might be undefeated, but I don't think we'll be underdogs in that game either. I don't think Miami will be underdogs.
It's a home game.
Yeah.
No.
They're not going to be a underdog the first 4 games.
No.
Cal, Louisville on the road. I don't think so. Yeah. I don't.
Well, I mean, if they win, if they're 5-0, sitting 5-0, they will not be underdogs for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I think you're right. Yeah. It'll be.
Yeah. Especially if we beat the Gators right out the gate.
We're already a favorite. We're already a favorite in that. I think it's like 2.5.
It's 2.5, but. I don't see the Gators being a problem. I know, like, this is the thing. When you listen to a lot of Canes podcasts, to the people that, they have to interview the team, they have to go to press conferences, they're back and forth on it because I listen to all of them. They're like, well, they could win and they could not win. And I get that. But to me, it's not even going to be close. I can't see it being close. Like, I'm taking a stand on this. I think, like Fat Joe said, what he said, yesterday's price is not today's price. Mm-hmm. I think yesterday's team is not today's team, and they go in there and they walk. Yeah. Billy Napier, or whatever his last name is, he will get beat so bad, he might get fired after that game. That's what I'm calling right now. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I can see that happening. I don't think it's even going to be close because people try to compare this team to last year's team. You realize we almost beat Florida State with Emory Williams. Like a kid, and when he got hurt and took off his helmet, When he got hurt, he looked like a baby. We had a baby in there against Florida State.
Yeah.
And we still almost won. So come on, man.
This is such a different team, man, just from how well they work the portal on, obviously, Cam Ward and everything. I mean, it's not even the same team as last year.
Yeah.
All right, guys. On to the next topic. Standouts. Who do you guys think in the 2024 Miami Hurricanes is going to be some of the players that rise above the rest?
All right, we'll go the same order. Go for it, Forrest.
People have been focusing on Cam Ward. I mean, Damian Martinez was the top running back in the portal, and he's already proven to be nasty. Tough runner, can break him off stuff. Like I think, and they're saying good things about him in camp and stuff too. That he's having a great camp. So I just think when we are at our best, when the Hurricanes have been at their best, it's always the running game. Always everybody, thinks, wide receiver, tight. It's always running backs. And now we have the depth too, but I think he's going to have a huge season. Like, I think he's going to have a huge season, and he's already good. We know that, but it's like, because we got Cam Ward, it's almost like, oh yeah. And this guy too, also the top running back in the port, so I'm looking, I love when we have a great ground attack, and then if he opens it up for Cam Ward, it's over, so I think he's going to have a huge season.
Dave?
Yeah, so I'll just go the receiving core in general, man. Like, this feels like we always talk about the U being back and what's it going to take and everything. This feels like the most University of Miami team we've had in a long time, because I'm used to those 80s teams. Like, we just had weapons, we had the running backs that Forrest is talking about, but then you couldn't sleep on these guys who just went out, and we got Restrepo back, who's like the reliable guy. And we got multiple receivers on
you got Sam Brown, you got Jacoby George, Isaiah Horton.
Yeah. So I just think that this is going to be a throwback Canes offense, man. And the defense is really the biggest question mark in my mind. Like, there's a lot of guys who can emerge, but I don't know who it's going to be. But the offense, man, I'm ready for it.
So this is the couple of standouts I'm hearing about. A couple of people that could surprise you. Jordan Lyle, the freshman running back. I'm hearing a lot of good things. OJ Frederick, he plays secondary. I'm hearing great things about. I just think overall, and this is my main point, there's 2 points I want to make. I don't like the disrespect I hear coming from the boards at A.J. Allen, certain people. I think, to me, and I got to be honest, to me, I don't know his pass protection, because I heard he might not be good in pass pro, but this dude is explosive. I said it last. He's explosive.
2 weeks in a row you've talked about him. Yeah.
Because I keep reading that it's Damian, which is great, then Mark Fletcher, then Chris Johnson, then this Jordan Lyle freshman, who I hope is great, and then A.J. Allen. Like, that's the order I saw somebody put him in. I'm going, yo, did you not see A.J. Allen? This dude is a highlight reel. I guarantee you, if he got his pass protection down, look, this is going to be, to me, I think he's going to be the breakout. Damian Martinez is going to do his thing. But if you're Damian Martinez, do you want to run the ball that much, knowing you're going pro that next year? You want to get your yards, get your touchdowns, but you don't want to run. I mean, I can't see, players are smarter.
Yeah.
You want to share.
I know what I agree with what you're saying, but that's kind of like to Dave's point, and what I was saying too is like that, just the fact that you just listed off 5 running backs that can play is
no, it's great.
I hear what you're saying too. I've seen the clips of him. I know he's explosive and stuff, but I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. I think he probably has to wait another year before he really gets.
I don't think so, man. I think A.J. Allen. I think A.J. to me last year he was the best running back. It's just I don't know if he can pass block, because I heard that's the dude is explosive, man. There's nobody on the Canes. Chris Johnson is fast, but this dude is strong, fast, and I think he's going to shock some people. I think he's going to shock some people this year. And the other point I want to make is, as far as standouts, people are saying they're worried about our secondary. Or is that our next topic? The bet I'll wait for that.
Yeah.
So AJ Allen is the one I think that's gonna make some noise. But I'm looking forward to a bunch of. I mean, you got all these guys that came in on the defensive line. Yeah. You got Wesley Bassint that looks amazing. So I think there's gonna be a lot of standouts. But if I'm hoping one really stands out, is A.J. Allen, just because of all the disrespect he's getting.
Before we move on from this topic, let's take a quick comment from Randy. When will the Canes have another Heisman candidate? Who do you think it might be and when?
I mean,
I'll say this. Cam Ward is already in the Heisman conversation.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's the easy answer for sure.
Yeah,
well, Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Well, Cam Ward is already in the conversation. But if Ruben Bain, this is what I would love to see. Ruben Bain crushes it this year, and then next year has a monster season. I would love to see Ruben Bain win the Heisman. I know it's highly unlikely.
There's never been a D lineman win the Heisman, right? So you're saying
exactly.
You're saying
if he can be the first one, I think he's going to be dominant, man. Especially his junior year.
It's going to be awesome because, like we said last week, he's not getting double teamed anymore. He's going to be playing like the full set of snaps from the get-go. You know, he's going to be awesome. But I mean, look, I'm rooting. Great, that'd be awesome.
I know it's never happened. Yeah. I know it's never happened, but I love Ruben Bain. But like, you got your Heisman person right now. You know,
Cam Ward's in the conversation, and well, you'll know about 3-4 weeks in where he stands. But
I'm gonna go Tyler Van Dyke at Wisconsin.
Dude, okay. Hey, Dave. Let me ask you this, and I really believe this. I think Tyler Van Dyke will throw for more yards than Cam Ward, but Cam Ward will have more wins because Wisconsin's not going to be able to run. So they're going to rely on his arm, and I think he's going to do phenomenal out there. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I can completely agree with that. I could see it happening. Tyler Van Dyke is completely up here, man. Like, we've seen the guy be awesome. Like, he's got the talent, you know?
Yeah.
But when he was in a situation that he wasn't comfortable with it, you know, he got the jips. So if he goes up there and has a support staff and can get some confidence, sure, why not?
Mark my words. Mark my words. Tyler Van Dyke will throw for more than Cam Ward, but Cam Ward will be in the Heisman conversation because Wisconsin will lose 4 or 5 games.
Yes, they will. Absolutely. All right, last topic, boys. And Michael already alluded to this. Bad secondary, question mark? What do you guys think? Possibly?
I mean, that's the word. And not bad. I don't think they're bad. They're just young, you know? So they're young. There's a lot of turnover. Yeah, I think that we have a lot of good players in the secondary, but they just don't have the experience, you know? But I know maybe you're going to go the other way with this, Michael or Dave, but it's like, we can't be perfect from last season to this, even with the portal and recruiting and stuff like that. And if there is a place where there is some weakness, it is the secondary. But I do believe that we have enough talent there. And with the D line that we have and the pressure that's going to be put on, I think is going to help them and probably let them learn and get their feet on them to get to that place where they can be. So I think if there is a weakness there, it'll get hidden initially. So,
yeah, like I already mentioned, I'm a little scared to get too high or too low on the defense. Like, I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, week 3, we go, oh yeah, why didn't we see this? Whether they're terrible or awesome. But I think the bigger question is just this coaching staff. You know, they've had time now to bring in their guys. They had time now to get their systems. They've had time to make whatever changes they want to make with coordinators and everything. So it's on Cristobal, man. I think it's on him and the coaches to make sure that if we have this explosive offense, we can at least be, good enough on defense to get the job done.
I don't like the disrespect to the secondary. Let me tell you why. There's so much disrespect from these boards on the secondary. Look, how many busts? Look, I love Cam Kitchens, NFL. You got James Williams doing his thing, but we did not lose 2 safeties. We lost a safety and a linebacker that was playing safety. Let's get that clear. Let me say that one more time. We did not lose 2 safeties. We lost a safety and a linebacker that was playing safety.
Now, I didn't hear you. What'd you say? Can you say it again one more time, please?
One more time. We did not lose 2 safeties. Okay. We lost a safety and a linebacker trying to play safety. Now, this year, you're going to have 2 actual safeties playing. Look how many busts Miami had last year. If you just have 2 safeties, corners that don't bust, That defensive line is going to take care of the rest.
Yeah.
So I actually think Miami's secondary is going to be a strength this year, not a weakness, because they got talent all. You got Daryl Porter. You got Michelle. I think that's Powell, right? That's how you say his name. You got him back. I think this will actually be a strength, because I remember, and one of y'all can correct me, 2 or 3 years ago, I think we thought the defensive line was going to be weak, but it turned out to actually be the strength over the linebackers. Because I remember everybody was saying the linebackers, it was either or. One was supposed to be the strength, and it flipped like a couple games in. The defensive line is going. I mean, these are dudes.
Yeah,
these are dudes. Okay, these are dudes that will. But I don't. I
love your enthusiasm, Michael. It's like they're going to be 11-0. There's no weakness. Like, I love it, man.
Well, because last year and the years before have nothing to do with this year. Like, people
I know.
always
Look, this is a great. Let me tell you something. You know, one of the good time to start a Miami Hurricanes fan podcast is this year, as opposed to like 2 or 3
We've
years
been here
ago.
since the beginning.
Yeah. No, we have. No, but I will.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, like the secondary, as long as they don't bust, and it was tough for James Williams and Cam because it was the first year it was installed, right?
Yeah.
It's first year it was installed. They're trying to learn it. Now these players got more experience in it. I think, man, the secondary with that defensive line, the secondary is not going to be a problem. They're not going to give up as many busts. How many times did we see just random receivers just run? Nobody around them, like nobody. And I was like, how could this happen? So that's my whole thing. You didn't lose 2 safeties. You lost a safety and a linebacker. And I'm not saying that. The NFL is saying that. And James Williams, by the way, looks amazing at linebacker. The dude is fat. I mean, he looked incredible in that scrimmage with the Titans. So no disrespect to him, but that's my thoughts on it. That's Daryl Porter is a dog. That's right, Daniel Holloway. He's a dog. He's a dog. I'm telling you, don't disrespect that secondary. They coming for you. They coming.
I'll tell you what my take is. I feel like we didn't lose 2 safeties to the NFL. I feel like we lost a linebacker. Oh, wait. Has this? Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. We lost a safety and a linebacker. All right. What's the we got to wrap this up. What's the this and that?
Okay, let's get into this and that. Right after that, Dave's got a quick story he's going to tell us about Warren Sapp. I'm looking forward to it. Forrest was talking about it earlier. So we'll get to that right after this or that. Okay, Dave, we're going to start with you. This or that. This, Miami beats both Florida and Florida State, or that, Ohio State goes undefeated. I think I said, did I say Florida State? Yeah, they beat both Florida and Florida State, or that Ohio State goes undefeated. What say you, Dave?
I got to pick one of those 2 things. Well, I mean, I feel pretty confident in Miami beating both Florida and Florida State this year. I don't know Ohio State's schedule, but if I have a choice between Ohio State losing and the Canes winning, I'm taking the Canes winning. All right.
That's what's up, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I'm clearly an Ohio State fan, as you know, my backdrop stuff.
Look at Forrest's background. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like the Buckeye. Nah, we're going to beat Florida and Florida State this year. I definitely think that's happen. I don't think the Buckeyes are going to go undefeated. I know they have a good team. Their schedules favors that. Harbaugh's gone now and stuff, but no, screw them.
Yeah,
4 losses, hopefully.
I'm the same way. It's a clean sweep. I think we beat Florida and Florida State, and I think Ohio State. What I'm hoping for is they lose to Michigan again, and Ryan Day gets fired. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Gosh, you want people to lose their jobs all over the place. Florida, Ohio State, yo's coming.
All right. This, Cam Ward wins the Heisman, or that, Xavier Resparito wins the Biletnikoff Award. Michael,
say it right.
Did I say it right?
Extrepo.
God, it's almost racist.
Listen, I mean,
disrespect from a Wisconsin fan is ridiculous.
Why do you guys think I supply the questions and don't answer them? That's why I'm reading the questions. I don't know anything. I was going to just say Xavier, but I'm like, I'm going to get called out if I don't use the last name or at least attempt to it. I'm like,
Restrepo.
What do I got to lose?
Just say X.
I'll say.
I was saying you could call him X.
X.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. X. So X. Do you think he wins, or does Cam Ward win the Heisman, as Michael Yo alluded to earlier?
I'll start, I guess. I think if one of them's going to happen, I think Cam wins the Heisman. I love X, but He's not going to win there's too many other people that it's at the beginning the Biletnikoff award, I think, has already shrunk down to like 3 or 4 people that they have, and they want him to look a certain, like they want him to be this certain height and weight.
Prototypical.
And yeah, prototypical. So
Yeah.
I'd say Cam.
I think Restrepo is going to have a great year. I think he's so talented. He's proven that, he can be the man. But he's also should come into the season with a chip on his shoulder because, he had a lot of down games last season. And this year they're not going to be able to focus on him as much because, like we said, we have so many weapons. So I do think he's going to come out, have a great year. But I think Cam Ward winning the Heisman's the more likely scenario.
Well, yes, I agree with you. I think Restrepo will come out about 1,100 yards this year. I don't think. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna get about 1,100 yards this year. I think his down games were Tyler's down games, right? Let's be honest. Like when he didn't play well, Tyler didn't play well, and Tyler was responsible for so many turnovers. It's what our defense got they didn't rank as well in certain things, and I can't remember exactly. I was hearing some stats, but they gave up a lot of touchdowns in the red zone, but I don't think it's because of the defense. I think it's just they were deflated. After you get a touchdown thrown on, an interception, and then you got to run out there when you were just out there, it's deflating, man. And I think that's just affected the whole defense last year. And they were still all right. So I think Cam Ward is a better chance to win the Heisman, but I do think X is going to go over 1,100 yards and get drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round.
All right. This Miami sells out a home game, or that Miami plays for a national championship.
Yeah, those are kind of connected.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's one thing I know about the city of Miami is they will jump on a bandwagon. So if we're playing for a national championship, they will sell a game out along the way.
Yeah.
You know what? But you know what? You guys were doing a podcast before the season even started, so. OG
That's right.
fans. OG fans.
Yeah. I will say this. I imagine that they will definitely sell out that September 7th game against Florida A&M because Michael Yo will be at the Miami Improv coming up September 6th and 7th.
There you go, Rudy.
Rudy Pavich. I'm just saying.
Okay,
that's the way to plug it, baby. Plug our show.
Let me just say this right now. There's no way they're selling out the Florida A&M game right now. I don't care how good the band is. They're not selling it out. It might be sold, and they might sell all the tickets, or but there will be a lot of gaps in the seats there. There's that's like prime boating season. Right there.
I mean,
windsurfing.
Can we all agree on this question that the Florida State game will be sold out?
Yeah, true that. The Florida State game will be sold. That's always sold out.
So they will sell out a home game. It'll be Florida State. It'll be on ABC, 3:30 or 7:30, whatever. If they're both undefeated, it's a night game.
This was just more to take a shot at Hurricane fans because look, I think we gotta we're gonna win the national championship. He's gonna get the high. We're like so high this year. Like at least let's take a shot at the fans and be like, hey, let's sell out the Florida A&M game. I know it's not gonna happen, but maybe Ball State. I don't know.
Wait, doesn't Virginia Tech come to us?
Virginia Tech is in Miami as well, yeah.
So that'll be the 5th game. If they're 4-0, that Virginia Tech game has a good chance of getting close to being sold out, I think, too.
Virginia Tech is, I think that that has a good chance as well, too, yeah. So that's true.
Dave, what say you?
Man, it's unfair, dude. They're handicapped. The game is an hour away from Miami, It's an NFL stadium, dude. Like I don't know. I almost don't even want to talk about it. It bums me out.
How great was the Orange? I remember going there, and I mean, it was scary. That's the problem with talking about it. Is it's not coming back, so it's kind of like we got to move on. But there was nothing like being in a stadium that could collapse at any moment.
Yes.
But that was so much fun.
Where you slide down the ramps that when the water's going down those, they were like tilted like this with no grip. But the other teams were definitely afraid when you came there because you'd pull up to that thing, especially like a night game or something, and you were like, what is happening? We're just in a neighborhood somewhere, and it's like crazy stadiums just shake. Like they're not afraid because they go to those nice cushy NFL locker rooms now, and they're like, oh, it's nice.
Man, I remember going to a game as a kid at the Orange Bowl, and I had one of those like horns, what are the vuvuzelas or whatever they call, whatever. Yeah. And everyone was cheering and stomping their feet, and there were these pipes over us. And so I started banging on the pipe with the horn, and then the pipe started shaking like a cartoon, like the water pressure. And I was just like, somebody's probably getting like like the trough in the bathroom's probably like spraying at someone right now.
Hey, Rudy, do we know what year the Orange Bowl went away? What year was that?
I can take a look right now.
Somebody just put in the comments too, like sell the Marlins.
Sell the Marlins and take it back. I'll put that comment up there.
We'd have to tear down the stadium and then build a replica of the Orange Bowl. Like build a modern replica of it.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
that comment comes from Danny. That comment comes from Danny Holloway, who is an avid Merman podcast listener.
Oh, there you go.
Dave and I's defunct podcast that we did.
That's right. That's right. When did the Orange Bowl go away?
Let's see. History of the Orange Bowl, just 1 year. Man, for some reason.
I want to say like 2008, something like that. I can look it up.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah.
Anyway, my best story at the Orange Bowl was, I don't know if you know, but like in the VIP section of the Orange Bowl, because I had a radio show on in Miami, and Mark Stoops is one of my best friends. He's now the head coach for Kentucky.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he's one of my best friends. He was the defensive back coach for the Canes. Yep. So literally I had access to everything, and there was this VIP place in the Orange Bowl. It was glassed in, and it had all the drinks you can have. It was open bar for the whole game, open bar in this VIP area. Yeah. And I didn't know anything about the university except the Miami Hurricanes football, because that's all I followed.
Yeah.
And this lady comes up to me, and I've been drinking a little bit, and she introduces herself, and she goes, "I'm a big fan." And I go, "What do? You a teacher or something?" It was Donna Shalala. Is that how you say her name?
Shalala.
Yeah. Donna Shalala. And she got so offended. She goes, "I'm the president of this school," and just walked off.
Yeah, that's great.
They didn't even have replay screen. Remember, you were like, "Oh, let's take a look at that play," and it was just the guy kicking a football like in 8-bit lights. You're like, "All right, cool." All right.
Here's some information. University of Miami announced that they were moving out of the Orange Bowl after 2007 season to begin play at Sun Life.
Right. Yeah, 2008 is what I guess.
I can tell you, my buddies Danny Holloway and his brother Ryan Holloway should just be your fact checkers for this. He probably didn't even look that up. I'm pretty sure he knew that off the top of his head. Yeah.
Well, Holloway, feel free to watch every week and correct us when we're wrong. What was that show that Around the Horn? They would check the stats at the end. He could be our stat checker at the end. Yeah. So now we can just say anything, and we'll just have a segment with him where he corrects us.
I threw out all sorts of stats when I was talking about Syracuse. I think we were on a 12-game win streak. Just pulled that out. I didn't even know we were against Syracuse. So I'm like, I should. That's not even close to where we're at again. I don't know.
Danny, his brother Ryan, and my buddy Josh were the guys I was going to games with when I was in junior high, and we would paint our face and we would shave numbers in our head. Like whoever our favorite player was at the time, we would shave it in our head to go to the games.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it. Okay. Before we end the podcast, Dave, where can people find you? What do you want to promote?
So I have my own barbecue podcast called Meet Dave, MEAT Dave. So if you're into barbecue and into tailgating, check out my podcast at Dave W Comedy on Instagram. I'll be back in South Florida in a few weeks performing at the Comedy Club in Key West. Come see me if you're in South Florida.
Forrest?
And we didn't get to it, but that Meet Dave podcast, Dave is like a master barbecue or whatever. That's his relationship with Warren Sapp. We teased it, we didn't say it, but
my bad. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your Warren Sapp. My bad. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, literally just the broad strokes of it is that I've become friends with one of my childhood heroes because of barbecue. So Warren was coming out to, because Warren was a little bit older than us. So like when I was in high school, we were watching him dominate,
Yeah.
And of all the different ways through Miami I could have met or hung out with Warren Sapp, and just, he obviously he's a famous person, doesn't always happen. the guy was coming out here to do a podcast with Bert or whatever, and just messages me out of the blue and just goes like, I want to come to your house for barbecue. And I was like, okay, Canes legend Warren Sapp.
Yeah,
right?
Legends are always welcome here. And he goes, what's your address? And I was like, oh, you're for real.
Wow, dude.
So
you know who never
he
gets
showed
to
up at my
hang?
house the next day, and I didn't know if he was for real or not. I was like, I better cook some shit in case he shows up.
That's
And
amazing.
And Warren showed up. So then Tom and Bert came and showed up too. He's out here. So then he's met me places around the road when I'm doing barbecue events and stuff up in Georgia. He came and spent a weekend with me, cook a barbecue at Rec Tech. And then I don't know, it's just wild how the different connections come. Because of water polo, which is the most random thing about me, is that I love water polo. Gino Toretta messaged me the other day about the Olympic USA water polo. And I'm just like, if I would have told little kid me that Gino Toretta was going to ask me about water polo.
Yeah, well, I was with Dave one time just randomly, and you just caught a FaceTime, and it was just Warren Sapp, I think, in like overalls, no shirt, and he was asking you how to cook a brisket, and I was like,
Wow.
what are we doing?
Well, you know, that's every black man's dream, is to have a white person cooking for him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's on the East Coast, and my phone will ring at like 6 a.m. and I'm just like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, how long do I leave chicken in? You know?
Wow. You know who never gets to hang with their childhood heroes? Vegans. Not a one. Never get a chance.
Never.
How many vegans do you know can sit down and share a bowl of, just like lentils and greens? Never. No, man. It's meat that bring people together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe in 25 years, all the players will be vegan. Who knows? Who knows where this is going?
Not the
Who
good
knows?
ones.
Forrest, where can people find you?
ForrestShaw.net is my website, and I'm at Forrest with 2 R's, Forrest Shaw, on all the platforms. I'm going to be all over the place, but for this podcast specifically, you go to my website, all my dates on there. I'm going to be in Florida for about a month. I'm going to be in Key West, Miami, Dania, Boca, Tampa, Orlando. I'm going to be all around where Canes fans are, the majority of them. So go to my website, ForrestShaw.net. Come out and see a show, please.
Rudy?
You can find me at Rudy_Pavich. I'm also on the road with Michael Yo right now. I got an album recording going down in the Comedy Corner Underground, Minneapolis. That's September 13th and 14th. And RudyPavichComedy.com.
This is all I want to say is thank you for all the love, support. My goal in starting this podcast was 2027, I believe Miami opens up against Utah, where I live in Las Vegas. Yep. And by then, I want us to have the biggest fan podcast, and we just rent out a space and we do a podcast. This is my dream with all you guys that are watching, with Dave, with Forrest,
Donna Shalala, invite her again.
Yeah. What?
Donna Shalala, invite her this time.
Yeah.
Donna Shalala comes. Yes. I won't know who she is again. But that's my dream, is to have the #1 fan podcast. And much love to the experts that break the news, but we're for the fans that have a voice. Feel free to leave comments. We need to get an email address or something where people can email us questions so we can start reading out questions during the podcast. We'll figure that out. Yeah. But we appreciate it. Follow me at Michael Yo. Of course, Comics on Canes. And here's another thing. Me and Rudy will be in Miami performing September 6th and 7th at the Miami Improv, but it's in Doral. So there you go.
Yeah.
Close to the stadium.
Yeah. Close to the campus than the stadium is.
Yeah. Which is going to be great because we're going to be at that sold out game and then immediately go right to the club and do 2 shows. So
there's 2 improvs closer to the University of Miami than the football stadium is.
No, but we're going to the game during the day. I think the game starts at 3. Roy Wood Jr. that went to
what happened there?
FAMU, right? They're playing FAMU?
Yeah. He went to A&M. Yeah.
He went to A&M, so we're going to try to have him on to try to pump up his team for the big football game. So that's what we're bringing, comedians. Dave, we would love to have you back on. I know the week of the game, we're trying to get Billy, but we definitely have Finesse Mitchell. He went to UM. He's going to be on. I just talked to DJ Williams. He's going to be on the show. I mean,
I'm a Bronco fan too, so
yeah, man. So we're excited. You guys are loving the show. We appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, Comics on Canes. If you're watching this on my personal page, please go over to the Comics on Canes page, because I'm only going to do it on my personal page another 2 times, and then we're going to switch it. But one takeaway. Let's all give our big takeaway for the show. What'd you learn, or what's the one thing you want to take away from the show, Forrest?
You know, that we had a linebacker playing in the secondary last year. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was going to be mine, but go ahead, Dave. What's your one takeaway from the show?
My one takeaway is that Michael Yo is really confident that the U is back, baby.
No, I didn't say back.
No,
hey,
no,
I didn't say back. I just said this year they're going to do some things. Rudy, your one takeaway, you Wisconsin Badgers fan.
I hope that all the listeners of Comics on Kane understand that I am a moron and I'm only here to help out the people that actually know the names of all the players. That is why I'm here. Yeah. So, yeah, that is my job. But no, the one takeaway is I would definitely say, man, that the one big takeaway, I didn't realize, I guess I'm not, like I said, I'm not too hip on like some of the colleges that are in the south part of the United States, but I'm really looking forward to this Florida and Florida State game coming up with Miami, because it sounds like you guys definitely like to, as Forrest was pointing out earlier, Forrest, that's where you were basically taken hostage at one of those games. When did you say like that was the most unsafe you've ever felt?
That was Syracuse. That was
Syracuse. That's what it was. Yeah.
Listen to the podcast, Rudy. You're on it.
You gotta send out all sorts of apologies. You gotta send one to Xavier Burrito or whatever you called him, and
I think I called him Exposito. That was the name of the song that was big like 3 years ago with Justin Bieber, right?
Hey, Rudy, are you in an earthquake right now? Because you're
no, my daughter is we're on vacation, and my daughter is jumping on the bed. She just jumped in to grab some stuff. But as she's doing it, she's moving me around.
I was like,
which I know in California, so there could have been. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. My takeaway from the show is, you fans, we love you. Thanks for subscribing. And remember, the Miami secondary is going to be amazing because they didn't lose 2 safeties. They lost a safety and a linebacker. I didn't say it. The pros said it. We'll see you next week. Later. Thanks, Dave. It's all about the U, baby. It's all about that U.